Hello traders, John at StockBookie.com. Today we're looking at the SPY, the IWM, the Qs, the DIA, the IYT, and the USO, the usual suspects. We follow the daily, weekly, monthly time frames. We use technical analysis here at StockBookie.com. And just like Friday, what a day on Wall Street. This time we had a huge rally. I am still bearish. If you want to short the SPY, you short it here. Don't go all in. You wait to get the gap fill. You do it again. Use the all-time high as a stop out, or you can even use 225, 224 area if you want to make it a little bit of a wider stop. But again, great trade for a short with a tight stop. You can't ask for any more than that. And if you catch another day like this or another couple days where it just grinds down, you'll be in the money. We talked about this. One candle wiped out 2 months of gains, and that's why I was so excited. As this thing was going up, chopping around, we were adding shorts to a lot of positions. The FANG was going up. We were shorting those, and they all came in come Friday. We bounced back up today. The only reason we did, we filled the gap down here, and on the weekly, we hit the 20 MA. Janet had to sell that. If this thing closed below the 20 MA here today, on a weekly, well, it still has to close on Friday. On a weekly close above the 20 MA, we'll be watching this one close. So daily, same thing, right above, but we did not recapture the 50 MA on the daily. So this is still in a bearish stance, in my opinion. Let's go to the weekly. Weekly, we almost engulfed this whole candle, but this is a weekly close. If you're bullish, you want to close up in here. If you're bearish on Friday, you want to close below this inside bar and the 20 MA, and then we could possibly start to move lower. 167 million on the day, not bad for an up day. But I'm thinking a lot of people who got caught down here who didn't cover, they started covering because, you know, it's the same stuff. They got everyone conditioned. For every downside, it bounces. So as soon as it bounces, all the shorts start covering. Yellen gets in here to squeeze. But on Friday, that's when we were covering shorts and take them off the table. At least half positions. Take them off. Protect them. Days like today, if you took half off, add more up here and do it again. That's what's called rinse and repeat, guys. So either way, for me, I'm a swing trader. I'm just trying to capture moves here and be on the right side of the trade. Monthly chart, same thing. We'll know more in a couple of weeks on this one. So let's get into the IWM. IWM, we're still looking at that 123.43 area. We did close below that. Let's go back to the daily. But we did have a nice reversal again. But look, it almost filled this gap. I'm going to have to do the math. You know what? It might have went to the 53. Gosh, I missed it maybe by 50, maybe about 6-7 cents. So that tells me a lot of people were waiting on the bid and ask to possibly get filled, and the market makers didn't fill them. They missed them by maybe 10-15 cents, and then rocket ship up. But you expect this thing to gap down. You know, I think it gapped below it, and then it just pushed right through it. You know, the 50 MA. They have to keep this thing above this red bar low. So at this point, if you're bullish on this, you need to recapture the 20, you need to recapture the high of this red bar, and then you need to get through gap fill up into this way. And in that case, you might go up to the 127 area. There's a gap fill up in there. But if you cannot retrace all the way to the top of this inside bar, remember we had a lot of freaking sellers up here. So everyone who bought this thing up here on, oh, it's going to go up, don't worry. They possibly will be sellers as this thing goes up. Weekly, same thing, reversal, filled the gap, but we're only halfway there. This is a weekly close. Big area is around 123.57, needs to recapture that area. Monthly, again, 3 weeks will close. It needs to stay above 123.43 on the monthly, but I would really like it to see it stay above the 124.50 area or the high of this candle to continue up. If we do move up, like I said, you can start re-shorting or shorting at 127, 128, then ultimately at the all-time high. And maybe if you want to put a stop out around, you know, 136 or so with confirmation, you could do that. Just go light on these markets. These markets are a little bit crazy right now. Don't load the boat on any position. Use strict money management. It will save your butt in the long run. Qs. Qs was the leader today. You know, pretty much engulfed this whole down day other than the gap down. We're right back into the 7-5 or the 5-0 retrace. Got to keep an eye on this. If you're bullish, it needs to recapture the 618, the 20 MA, fill this gap, and then get back to the 118 area, then ultimately get above the 118.78. If it cannot do that, this thing will start to head down. As a bear, you're looking for this to reverse this green candle out. We'll probably have a pause day, but At this point, I don't even know anymore with these markets. They're from nothing to huge, huge moves. Yeah, this huge move down here. It's again, it's the henchman coming out trying to save the day, you know, yelling at her buddies. But we did have good support. We did fill the gap down here as well. Weekly chart. Weekly, I would have, oh man, two more days down in this area, even down here. I might actually be a buyer, but we'll have to see how that comes in. So yeah, so we reversed it. So if you're bullish, you're looking to close above this candle. If you're bearish, you're looking to close below the low of the big red candle. Monthly, same thing, got above the green bar, closed. Now we're looking for a close above the all-time high, the 118.78 area. And then ultimately, I'd like to see more volume and this thing start pushing up. If it doesn't, if you're bearish, you're looking for a close below this candle here. And I think we can go to the low of this inside bar, roughly around the 107.57 area or so. You know, $8-9 or whatever that would be. You know, nothing crazy. And then you got to look at everything again to see where this thing could possibly go. Each day gives you a piece of the puzzle. Let's go to the DIA. Weekly, pretty much the same thing on all these. So we engulfed this down candle, engulfed it, almost engulfed the whole thing. Bull, you need to get above here, fill the gap above the 20 MA, and then above this trend line. Then I believe we could go a little bit higher, all the way to gap fill around 186.30, and the all-time high, which is 186.87. We start getting up there and it starts having problems. If you're long, pull it off the table, let it come down, do it again. For me, I love it when it goes up because I'm going to short. Because right now, even if you short this thing at 183, 184, what's your stop out? You can stop out at 190, 193, 194. Just do a half position to make it a wider stop. And what are you going to lose? 5% on your total portfolio? It's nothing. That's what we do here. It's swing trades. It's buying long, buying short, don't care. But right now I'm more buying short. Because like moves like this, I just can't believe it. We get some follow through, that's great. I'll be waiting at the top to short again. And, you know, I cannot go long in these markets when we're at all-time highs. I was taught never to do that, so I'm not doing it. Sorry. Let's see here, IYT. I'm not even going to look at the rest of that one. Let's look at, sorry. But no, it's because it's the same thing. We filled the gap down in here. We hit the 20 MA, 382. They bounced it. Now we're back over the 750. But still, now we have a nice little inside bar. Let's see if this thing can set up for pattern for the next couple weeks and maybe make the next move down. Monthly charts, just chopping around, two little dojis. So yeah, not much to do. We'll see on the monthly close. If you're bullish, you got to get above the all-time highs. If you're bearish, you need to close above this or below this spinner candle right here, or doji, whatever you want to call it. And then we can call this the inside bar. Then you're looking for this. You want to get a close. If you're bearish, you want to get a close below that, and then 20 MA. Oh man, it's been a long day, guys. Long weekend. Had a lot of fun with my family and stuff. So a little bit beat up today. And for the IYT, they got it above the 8,000. Never confirmed on a weekly basis. Right back down. They tried bringing it up today, but we had support down in this area around the 139.75. Actually, 139.74 was the low of the day by the penny. We had 140.35, which is these little pivots here held, and boom, right back up. And look, they recaptured both MAs. So your typical technical analysis guy is like, hey, yeah, we're above the MAs again. This thing's strong. Time to buy. Time to buy. You know what? I have this trend line coming from here. Not the biggest, not the best. Has nice symmetry, but right back into that trend line, and right back into some more resistance too. So we're going to see how this thing reacts. I'm thinking went right back up. If it doesn't recapture this or even this bar, fill this gap, we're going to go right back down. And the next move is going to be worse, and that's when it's going to catch everyone off guard, because you know people who went short down here, they were covering, and then they swapped it and they're chasing it now because the talking heads were like, oh, everything's good. So you got to be careful in these markets, guys. If you're taking positions, do not load the boat. The IYT is still under the 20 MA. It's a monthly chart, so we'll have to see what the month brings. But technically, it's still not a bad pattern, but I want to see it get above that, get above this guy here, and maybe the 151 area, and then keep going. And then we'll be waiting up here to reshort this thing up there, like always. So, USO. USO, same thing. Kind of a quiet day. They try to recapture these areas up in here, which they did. Remember, there's going to be a lot of support and a lot of resistance in these. So now we're back up into this. We did fill the gap right here as well. We came up into this pivot area around the 173 area. And guess what? They came right back in. We closed at 1 or a 1064. So what, 14 cents off the top. So so we'll see if it could stay above the moving averages here and then recapture the 20. And I'm thinking we could possibly go a little bit higher on this, maybe the 10, 11 o'clock area or $11 area, and then this high pivot around 11.20, and ultimately the gap fill around 11.34. That would be a good short entry. Make sure you take a half position so you can add as this thing goes up. But if it stays down here and continues to be weak, I think we're definitely going to come. You know what? Let me see something here. That did catch my eye earlier today. No, not yet. So you have that trend line 2 down here for a little more support than the 618, 750. So this isn't bad, but just, again, be careful. Markets start to dump, this thing's dumping. They're all dumping. Technically on a weekly basis, now we went up, tapped around, came back in. This is a bearish inside bar. As long as it stays below this high, which is right around the $11 area, we're okay. If it continues to consolidate in this inside bar and that fails, then we're probably going to pop through, go to the high at 1136, and then the 750 retrace at 1162, then ultimately the 1243 area. That's if you're bullish. If you're bearish, you're looking for this inside bar to start playing out, these moving averages to cross, the 50 will curl down, or however that happens, into price, and that should send this thing down on its merry way to at least the 919 area. And I'm still thinking we're going to go right back into the 770 or 767 area, and ultimately into the 6. Oh gosh, where am I? 646. Somewhere in that area. You know, $7, 650, anywhere in that area, you can start to look at buying the USO for a long. So unless the markets are cratering, then you better just step aside and let it fall. So that's it with the markets. Great rally on Wall Street. I still think we have a little more downside to go to. We had a lot of people over the weekend, including myself, looking for follow-through on the SPY. We did not get that, but we did not recapture the 50 MA either. So still technically it's in a bearish inside bar until we get above this all-time high, or not all-time high, the high on the bar, which is 217.06 or so. We're still setting up in a bearish manner. What I would like to see on the weekly is this thing just come chugging down, get below the 750 retrace or the 250 coming down, and close below this one will conceal it, and I think we're going right down to here to 205.88. If you're bullish, again, you want to get up, recapture the gap fill, this line, get to this or the 220 area, and we could possibly go higher. All right, guys, thanks for watching my videos. If you have any questions or comments, please send them to me at StockBookie@gmail.com. Thanks again for watching. God bless. See you on the charts.